Okay, we're moving onwards to 4-2. These are sequences. Now, we talked about it in 4-1 that a sequence is just an ordered list of numbers, and we've got a way of expressing those patterns with what's called an explicit formula. An explicit formula will tell you anywhere along the line what the value will be, what the term value will be at the 10th place, at the 20th place, at the 50th, or the 1000th. And the way we do it is with this sort of notation. This is just the name. It could be A, B, C, D. In this case, we're using A, and that's a subscript. So we read this A sub n. So our first term will be A sub 1, and that's just going to be equal to when we sub in 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 divided by 2 is 0. So that's my first term. Then my second term, A sub 2, will be when I plug in 2 for n. 2 minus 1 is 1 over 2 is 1/2. So that's my second term. If I wanted to string them all out, I could just write them as you see them in the book and go 0 and then 1/2. And then if I plug in a 3, I get 2 over 2 and I get 1. If I plug in a 4, I get 3 over 2 and that's 1.5, so I'll get 1.5. And I can write it that way in fraction or in decimal form, that's fine. It's a little bit trickier to do the reverse, to write an explicit formula based on just the numbers. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, I'm going to grab a marker here. And we start off with our carets again. Don't forget your carets. The change there is 6. And the change there is, guess what, 6. And then another 6. So this is going up by 6s each time. And this is our starting amount, okay? So it's relatively easy to find this. We're going to come back to this again, so don't freak out if it's hard. But if you think about it, we're just going to start with 11. So our formula for any particular place, A sub n, is going to be starting with 11, and then we're going to add multiples of 6, okay? Well, I can't just have it be n times 6, because I've already got my first term here. So I actually want the second term to multiply by 6 just one time. So if you see this little trick, n minus 1 will do that. So when I want A sub 2, like that, that's going to be 11 plus 2 minus 1 times 6. So that gives me my 1, 6. 1 times 6 is 6, and I add that to 11, and I'll get 17. And you can check this formula out, but this is the explicit formula for a series that's going up by an added number each time. This 6 goes right there because I'm adding multiples of 6. That 11 goes right there because that's my starting point. And then this is my little adjustment factor, okay? So why don't you try this one? Say it's 5, and then 8, and then 11, and then 14, and then 17, okay? Why don't you try writing an explicit formula for that based on the first term, the difference between each number, the caret number, and then that adjustment. It's pretty straightforward. Good luck. Okay, we're on our last problem here for section 4-2. It just has to do with investing money. It's one of the problems from the exercises in the book. If we put $500 into an account that has 4.2%, that's an annual, meaning a yearly interest rate. But what you'll do is you're compounding, you're kind of calculating the interest every month. So that's what they mean by compounded monthly. So this is the whole year interest rate. So if we divide this by 12, we'll get that individual monthly interest rate. Okay? So we'll do a little math here, and it'll appear right there. Okay, there it is, 0.35. That's our interest rate divided into 12 nice little equal bundles for 1 month. But remember, that's a percent. So to get that to a decimal, I move it 2 decimal places. 1% would be 0.01. So 0.0035 when I move that 2 decimal places, okay? So now that's the amount in actual dollars. So my original 500, I'm going to multiply that by 1 because I'll keep that original 500. You don't just lose all your money and get only the interest. You keep your 500 and then plus the interest amount right there, okay? So if I do that, that will give me my value at the end of 1 month. All right, I'll get that out of there. Then I'm going to find the value at the end of 2 months by taking the value at the end of 1 month and multiplying it by 1.0035. And I can find the value of my money at the end of 3 months by taking whatever is in there, that's my value at the end of 2nd month, and multiplying that by 1.0035. Okay. Well, the pattern is just that we're multiplying each time by this decimal. Well, if I sub back in, remember how we get to these? This is just going to be equal to my original $500 times 1.0035, and then this times 1.0035, and then that times 1.0035. So it's just going to be 500, my original amount, times 1.0035 to the third. So you can see there's a direct connection there. I'm just multiplying by this growth amount multiple times, okay? So they're asking, how much do you have after 2 years? So 2 years is 24 months. You'd plug in 24 and see what that is. You can do it on a calculator quite easily. You type in 500 and then times, and then in parentheses 1.0035, and you just do caret to the 1.00, times caret to the 24, because that's 24 months, okay? And that will give you the amount after 2 years. So you can try that one, and you've got 3 homework problems done already. See you in school.